Hello all, my name is Krishnak and welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, from past 3 weeks I have been exploring Julia programming language, as many of you had actually requested and told me to create a video on the same. I had implemented some of the data science projects, some of the machine learning projects, deep learning projects with the help of Julia. So in this particular video I'll be going ahead with respect to making you understand the basic difference between Julia, Python programming language and R programming language, and definitely I'll also be telling you like how is the future growth if you become a Julia developer, specifically with respect to data science and all. So I have noted down all the points in this particular diary. My 3 weeks effort is basically jotted down in 3 pages in this specific diary, so I'll be reading them point by point. I have written it in a better way. So first of all, as you all know guys, why Python is used? It is a general purpose programming language, right? If I consider R, it is basically used for data analysis, it is used for statistical analysis and data visualization, right? But when I consider with respect to Julia, it is specifically used for scientific computing. So this is the first point. The second point, when was Julia created? It was created somewhere around 2012, and it became pretty much famous. It just caught the eyes of all the developers in 2018. And why? Because I'm just going to say you some of the points as we go ahead with respect to that. Now the third point, that the quality that Julia has, Julia is also a programming pretty much similar to the Python programming language. You have beautiful syntaxes, you have functions, OOPS concepts, many more things, with respect to that. Now, what is the additional benefit that Julia has is basically the speed and performance. And this speed and performance are almost similar to the C programming language, right? In C programming language, you know that how the speed and performance is. So similarly, that particular property Julia programming language is actually having. So it has literally caught the eyes of the developer community. So coming to the next point, based on the community that the people are actually working. In Python and R has a huge community, guys. Okay, it is a huge community because you know that it is one of the loved programming language, one of the wanted programming language, right? Whereas if we consider the Julia community, right, it is very small, yet it is growing up. Probably it may take around 3 to 5 years to grow into a large scale as such as Python. Now why this community is pretty much important? Because I understand whenever you are implementing some projects with respect to Python by using some wonderful libraries like TensorFlow, Keras, and if you're stuck in some place, right, you can go to Stack Overflow, you can go to GitHub, and you can actually ask that particular query and someone will be there to reply you. And why that is possible? Because you have a huge community who are working in this particular domain, in this particular programming language itself, right? Whereas in Julia, the community is pretty much smaller, but yes, the developers are very friendly. You can see that there are a lot of tutorials that are put up in YouTube channel. If you go and put up your queries in Stack Overflow, also you'll be able to get answers. But again, as the community is huge, Julia and Python, if I consider Python, it takes that particular place, right? So coming to the next point about the libraries. Now if I take an example of Python has more than 200k libraries, guys. Okay, 200k libraries, so that is pretty huge. If I consider R programming language, it has somewhere around more than 15,000 libraries. But if I consider about Julia, it just has somewhere around 3,000 libraries itself. So if I take in this particular example, definitely again Julia is having less number of libraries when compared to Python. You can also say libraries or packages that is basically used for doing statistical analysis, for doing exploratory data analysis, for doing machine learning algorithms. So those kind of libraries, if you're combining, it has somewhere around 3,000 libraries itself. Okay, now coming to the next thing is that how many number of downloads has happened till 2020 at the month of May. Okay, so that also I have noted down. It is having more than 13 million downloads. Okay, Julia. So definitely by this number of downloads, you can see that the developer community has really got an eye on Julia, and this is all because of the speed and performance. You can do almost all the life cycle of a data science project also with the help of Julia, because I have done it literally. If you want some tutorials, please do put down your comments in the comment box. I'll definitely be uploading tutorials as we go ahead. Okay, now the next point that is to be noted with respect to Julia, and I can say that this is a kind of drawback. There is a concept which is called as time to first plot problem. Now what happens in Julia is that as soon as you use a package, it is just a kind of just-in-time compiler. So that basically means as soon as you load a package, it takes some time for compiling at the first time, because it has the property of just-in-time compiler. But after that, when the session is open for a longer period of time, then you can actually speeden up the process. Okay, so this is just a drawback with respect to this. And the biggest selling point with respect to Julia, because that is the most biggest advantage in Julia itself, that is speed and performance. Okay, so there is wonderful examples that has been given why Julia's programming language speed is very, very high. It actually comes towards the second position after C programming language. Okay, there was a recent research that was done where a developer, what he did is that he tried to generate more than 10 million random numbers, and then he did a quick sort on those particular numbers, right? 10 million random numbers. So when he actually did it with Python programming language, it took him to actually take somewhere around 124 seconds. Whereas with the help of Julia programming language, it took somewhere around 24 seconds. Now this is with respect to 10 million random integers. Okay, this is a huge number, guys. So if we also consider, guys, there are some graphs in Wikipedia also which says that Python, Julia is better than Go programming language, Fortran programming language, Java, JavaScript, C#, Python, R programming language with respect to speed and performance. But if you consider just a small number of integers or small number of values with respect to that same quick sort, almost Python and Julia are actually giving the same amount of time. So that basically means that Julia works well when your data is huge, when the numbers are huge, right? And considering data science, where you will be having huge amount of big data, at that time, even a microseconds can actually be very, very beneficial for the developers, So this was the next point. Now coming with respect to the life cycle of a data science project. Now guys, as you know that we have various life cycle of a data science project, like we have to do the data analysis, exploratory data analysis, we have to do the feature engineering, feature selection, machine learning model creation, then you have to do the hyperparameter tuning of the model, and then finally you have to do the deployment. Now considering this, guys, as you know that in Python, for doing most of the exploratory data analysis, feature engineering, we have a library called as pandas. Similarly, in if I talk about Julia programming language, there is a package which is called as dataframes.jl. Okay, so this particular package actually works as if like how we are actually working with pandas in Python. Okay, you have all the group by function, you can concatenate, you can drop columns, you can do all the functionalities like how we used to do in Python. Then there is also with respect to visualization libraries, like how we have matplotlib.pyplot. Similarly, here we have something called as plots package. Okay, and there are some more advanced package which I have not yet explored, but I have explored plots package, where you will be able to do a lot of exploratory data analysis with respect to various kind of works that are present. Then, so in Python, various integrated development environment like Spider, you have PyCharm. With respect to R programming language, you have RStudio, right? In case of Julia, you have a wonderful IDE which is called as Juno. Juno is almost similar to RStudio. I've seen this. And there is also a package which is called as iJulia, which will actually help you to integrate your Julia programming language within your Jupyter notebook that you are using for Python. So I had actually installed this particular package which is called as iJulia, and I tried to integrate with my Jupyter notebook, and I did the programming over there. And probably after some days I will also be coming up with this particular tutorial so that you will be able to see it. The next thing is that with respect to deep learning, for deep learning also, Julia has wonderful packages. There are two packages specifically I would like to say is one is flex.jl, keras.jl. And yes, I missed out with respect to machine learning packages. In machine learning packages also you have packages like scikit-learn.jl. You have for statistical analysis you have statsmodel.jl. So these all are like kind of packages name. You need to import it, you need to install it, and then only you will be able to use it. This packages also has a property like just-in-time compiler. Okay, you have to first of all compile it, then you will be able to use it, and make sure that you have a session open for a longer period of time. And that I'll be showing you in the upcoming videos as I'll be developing about this particular Julia programming language with respect to data science. Now, as you have seen, most of the properties, most of the things Julia is having when compared to Python, and it also has an additional quality of speed and performance. But they are something like you have less number of packages. The community size is yet very small when compared to Python. and many people who are actually doing research, they are also doing research with considering Python programming language as an open source. Now the question comes is that whether you should learn it or not. I would give a very good idea to you guys. Start with Python programming language or R programming language in learning data science. What I would suggest is that don't directly jump to Julia. Get the understanding that how you can actually implement Python programming language with respect to the data science functionalities. Then once you are able to get a very good hands-on, and then when you're learning Julia, right, that will be actually beneficial to you. Why? Because understand, in Python, the community is very huge. Any type of issues that you face, you will be able to solve it, right? In Julia, the community size is yet small. It is growing, it will be growing, and the probably the time that will take, to become a full-fledged, like Python or R, it may be somewhere around 3 to 5 years. So based on my experience, I would suggest that start with Python programming language. And yes, in the future, you can start exploring Julia programming language also, like how I am actually doing. I've also started exploring Julia programming language, but I have actually gained some kind of expertise with respect to Python, machine learning, deep learning techniques, specifically when I'm implementing with the help of Python programming language. And slowly, now I'll be also moving to this to understand that how fast, how quick, what is the speed and performance when I'm actually using Julia programming language. So with respect to the future growth, guys, probably it will be taking somewhere around 3 to 5 years, for the Julia to become, accumulated or used by. So it may probably take 3 to 5 years for many developers to use Julia. And there is one more disadvantage that I actually found out is that there are some bugs, with respect to some of the packages that are used in Julia also. So this was one of the things that I actually found out. And yes, I've covered pretty much all the points, but my suggestion is that first of all, start with Python programming language or R programming language, learn some kind of databases, try to learn machine learning and deep learning algorithms, and then try exploring Julia, because once you get a hands-on experience with respect to Python, learning Julia again is like a cup of tea, and you'll love it, because just understand, within 3 weeks I was able to explore machine learning algorithms in a proper way. I was able to understand how it actually works. I was able to implement a deep learning algorithm. I still have to explore that how we can use GPUs with respect to Julia packages that we have, libraries. So that I need to understand, and that will probably take some more time. But yes, I had just invested somewhere around half hour or 1 hour every day, and I was able to cover up so much. So yes, it is also possible by you guys. So yes, this was all about this particular video. I hope you like it. Please do subscribe the channel if you have not already subscribed. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Thank you one and all. Bye bye.